healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
I have been in a online shopping obsession lately. It's been crazy.
Happens.
Yeah.
I go through phases where I'm like, oh my God, I want everything.
Well, it's like, for me, I am doing the no buy year, but I have weird caveats because of my wedding. Like, I had to get my wedding shoes, and that spawned multiple hours long sessions of me just going into the rabbit hole. And I know what's happening, because it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want to focus on my work, yet I need to feel busy. And I'm running from my own discomfort. So instead of facing my problems, my anxieties, and grounding myself, I just am on eBay for 3.5 hours while I've got Love After Lockup playing in the background, and I'm acting like I'm resting when I'm not. And then I'm just I can't even sleep at night because I'm so keyed up from like, a bid.
Yeah, and just a screen in your face. That's so funny. There are times where you're like, I have to go into the room and rest, and then Joe or someone will come in, and I'm just like this.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm like, you're not resting.
That's the same thing.
Scrolling it, and then you're so embarrassed.
No,
I'm
I'm so tired. And then I spend 2 hours on the real, like, and going back to Poshmark to be like, which is a better deal?
Is it? Yes.
Yeah.
I just sold something on Poshmark, and I feel really bad. I forgot to even put it together and put it in the mail.
Wow. That happened to me. I bought a pair of shoes on there, and they just never sent it. And then I was like, I think that this person just quit. I think she just quit and decided to keep her closet.
I don't even think I got an email being like, hey, where's my maternity jeans?
I did get, I'm still committed to I've not bought a single new thing for my wedding. And I did get my wedding shoes. I got my Loeffler Randall shoes. They're like $300. And I got them on eBay, and I bid on them, and I won. I only paid like $100, and I was like, oh my God, I got scammed. I was like looking, it was like a baseball card shop. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. But it turned out they came. It was just a guy's wife, and they didn't fit her. And he even put a sweet little note in there, which I was like, okay.
That's really nice. I like a note on my resale purchases.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I get to a point where with stuff like that where I'm like, I just need to pick whatever shoes I see today, because I cannot lose any more of my life on pretending that I'm on a mission to find shoes.
Right.
And then it mutates, though, because now I'm like, well, I'm moving. Now I need a dining set. Hello. Hello and goodbye to hours of my life.
Oh, it's just nonstop.
It's nonstop because it's like there's always something else that I could be on the internet researching, and it's such a time waste.
Well, I also am in this mindset of I just want everything to be perfect, and there's got to be a way to hide these wires. So then I buy something to hide the wires, and then I didn't look at the specifications or specifics, and it's too long or does not fit with what we have.
Yes.
And then I was like, but then don't you get mad when you go to, I don't get mad, but I'm just saying that, like, I'll go to someone's place or just see online. I'm like, how is it that these people are able to have like their TV with no wires hanging out from underneath it?
Yeah.
That they're like, I got a little projector screen, but I can't find a thing to have it rest on to have it fit in the most perfect position. Yeah. So I have to put a little cardboard wedge that I made myself.
Yes, totally. You're just jimmy rigging everything in your home, and then you go to somebody else's home. And I guess it's kind of like comparing your insides to someone else's outsides, because surely they have little tricks like that. But I'm in a weird boat now where it's like, okay, when I moved into my apartment 4 years ago, when we started the podcast, I was like, I can't wait. Then I gave up on it. And at a certain point, it kind of got together. But now I'm like, okay, the slate is clean. The slate has been wiped clean. New beginnings. Now there's a ton of pressure on myself to be like, okay, I have to set myself up for success. And that means I have to find the right dining set. And then I have to get a rug. Right. I have to do this. And it's really great as a distraction from the impermanence of life. I'm like, I'll
Right.
never die. I just get online and find a mirror for my entryway.
That will, yes, make me feel.
That will make me feel alive. Finally,
Alive.
finally, my life will begin when I have the correct closet space.
But I've never been able to get the correct.
It's an illusion.
I can't. I think
Yeah.
it is.
I'm
I
reading
think
this.
these houses are AI that I'm going into.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. You're like, am I in The Sims right now? Like,
Right.
why is there not a thing in the trash can?
Well, it's like a lot of other things. That's maybe it is like the comparing. I will be like, sometimes on the you can see they'll have photos of people previously wearing whatever you ordered, and then they'll give their measurements, and I'm like, okay, we're around the same, and then I put it on. I'm like, why doesn't it not fit like yours?
You're like, why do I look like in It Ends With Us now? Like I'm a chaotic flower shop owner wearing 7 jackets.
That was crazy.
Crazy. I mean, it was crazy because I know we talked about That Ends With Us on a bonus, and I will go back to it again because I just felt like that film had so many wild inconsistencies. And
Yes.
I just have to touch on it again. And it was like with her outfits, it's like she's a crazy artsy girl, but then she's also a hot girl at the night out. Like pick a personality.
I just felt like, who are these people? Because you would not be in this world.
Yeah.
Also, we talked about Justin Baldoni's character as a neurosurgeon just seems so stupid to me.
Stupid.
Right? Like, it just make him in finance or just like,
Yeah.
but a neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just does not feel like a domestic abuser would be a neurosurgeon.
Right. And also hot. It's like you get like one or the other.
Right.
Like you're either, I could see if he was like really ugly and
Right.
an abuser.
If he's real, the red flag would be he's really hot, but he is a bad dresser.
Yes.
So then
Yeah.
she would be like, but it's a hot guy, and I've never had a hot guy into me. So she ignores the red flag of the bad dressing.
Yes. And then
That's
also,
the thing with these stories. Is they don't understand. I feel like they aren't good with getting the nuance of life.
Yes. It was so like flat. Like the whole
Yes.
thing about like she makes a joke that the first person she had sex with was a homeless person, and it's kind of like joking, but then you realize that like that was the love of her life, and she got a tattoo to honor him, and her father beat the shit out of him, and it's like, so she just throws him under the bus willy-nilly anytime she needs to make a joke.
Right. And also,
Like she's awful then.
Right. I
Like,
never
what
thought
a
of it that-
horrific thing to do. To be like, yeah, I fucked a hobo. My dad beat the shit out of him. Anyway.
that one.
Yeah.
but then you're like, he's not like, when you think of hobo, you think of like a mental patient with that's really hasn't showered for days, that has like a big beaver tail as a hair.
Yes. Like
you're
a
like-
coonskin cap.
It's just like a hot high school kid that is displaced from his home for about a week.
Yes, it was like, instead, it wasn't like the first guy I had sex with was a homeless man. It was like, I lost my virginity to a victim of domestic violence.
Right.
Like, why would she label him as that?
Yes.
It's nuts. The whole thing, there's so many plot holes. And it's like, of course he just happens back into her life, even though they've been living in the same town a block apart from each other for presumably a little while. She didn't just get to Boston.
Yes.
Another thing we talked about in the bonus,
That
which
movie is insane.
join our Patreon because we go full in on it, but it was like, I'm sorry, I just don't know what kind of person you are if you're going into a random luxury high rise and you're making your way to the roof. There's never any, like, it's like that, we need to talk about that.
Right.
Because what on earth? I can imagine, like, I live in New York City, I'm just going in a random apartment building, bypassing the doorman,
Yes.
getting on the elevator.
Oh, so she didn't live in that apartment building?
No, she was randomly in it, and then just going up to the roof and then just hanging out on the roof.
So she, like, if you think about it, she's kind of like the crazy person that you should watch out for.
Causing the abuse. No, that's what we land on. But I wanted to go back to I'm reading
outfits.
Yes. I'm reading this book, which I must.
It's our new it.
This is our new it. I'm reading this book, which I must share. It's called It's called 4,000 Weeks, and it's a new concept on time management, which is really interesting because it makes the kind of premise that usually time management is about like fitting everything into your day and like, okay, I can do so many things because I have my schedule and like my fancy workbook that I put my calendar in and all of that. But the premise of this book is more that like we actually have a very little time. And so instead of like, it's like we're here and we're gone. So instead of trying to fill up your schedule with more work to be more productive, you should take a realistic look about the fact that you're going to die in a matter of months, years.
I'm kind of into this.
Yeah. And then being like, okay, I'm just going to focus on what I can focus on in terms of my work. And then, and it's really freeing to me because it's like, you do have trade-offs, you know, like
there's a lot of things in life you want to do and be, but there's not the time to do it because you also have other people in your
You have other people, and it's like if you're going to
be involved. You have family functions. I have to see my parents once a week, and
or you could just not and then work, and it's like, well, then okay, you deal with it. Then don't come like crying to me. Well,
right.
I'm thinking of it too because it's like I want to potentially be a mom, but it's like that's a huge. You can't have it all. You're not going to have it all.
No,
you have to close the door to other.
Yeah, there's only moment. You just get a little bit at a time.
Get a little bit at a time. Or like with career stuff even. It's like, okay, well, I'm doing the podcast today. So I'm not going to live in a delusion that I'm somehow going to also get to a Pilates class.
Yeah.
And like once you free your mind from that, that's what the book is like. It's like once you free the mind from like the delusion that you're going to have a 12-hour day without stopping and then be fine to do it over again the next day, then you can be like, oh, okay, I am managing my time better now because I'm not insane.
Right.
Thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be able to, because I'm trying to get in shape for my wedding by eating a burrito every day, apparently. Every day I'm like, today's the day. And then I just eat a huge burrito. But
no, you're like, I'm going to work out, then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to do this, and then you just can't do it. But then I'm like, well, I'll just take the stairs instead of
take the stairs.
Well, it's escalator, or maybe I'll not eat this dessert today, or I don't know.
Do a little something.
Figure out something.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I could get in the best shape of my life for my wedding, which is in 6 weeks, if I'm willing to cut out every other commitment that I have and trade it off and be like, sorry, I have to quit my career to be hot.
I feel like if you want the life that you desire or fantasize about, you really have to cut people out of your life.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to be a career person, then that's why, you know, a lot of people that they don't have kids or they don't have relationships.
A trad wife.
Yeah, I wish I could. A trad husband, which is actually in the wrong direction. That's someone who's paying for everything.
Right.
But
I just realized I'm kind of a trad wife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you aren't
I make
really.
stuff, but Joe doesn't eat it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, but you like to cook, though.
I do like to cook. But it was one of those things recently where somebody was like, what's a trad wife? And you're like, I'm a trad wife.
I'm a trad wife. No, you're a stay-at-home mom.
I'm a som.
You're a som. And that's different. Because a trad wife is also like, and the Lord said women should compliment their husbands.
And they look like they dress well.
Yes.
Or like put an effort in their looks.
They put in,
which I am trying, but that's tiring too.
Well, you look great. I mean,
I've been blow drying my hair lately.
You have been on the Orange Theory journey.
I have.
Because the last time we checked in, you had just started it. And I have to say, like, I can already tell your face looks so toned.
Thank you.
Doing that type of intense workout, like, it works.
Yeah, because I don't really do weightlifting ever. I just did running. I think I've almost near a month and a half now of doing classes.
Wow. How often are you going?
I can only afford the twice a week.
I mean, that's still good though.
Running in the days off, and then, today I'm taking I like calling my recovery days.
Oh, isn't that the best? You're like, ooh, I'm so sore.
Oh, I'm just taking a recovery week.
How are you noticing that doing the twice a week is are you noticing like changes
I've
in your body?
noticed that I think I've lost 2 pounds.
That's great.
So
For
I'll
a
take
month,
it.
1 month?
Right. And that's because it's not like wasn't on this thing where I'm like, I need to get back to a crazy amount. I just wanted to get rid of the fat tire around my stomach.
Yes.
I want to not have to worry about what's my stomach doing.
Well, also when you
'Cause I have
work
to suck
out,
it
like
in.
when you do a hard workout twice a week and you just make it part of your routine, I just feel like you end up having so much more energy that you
Yeah.
don't expect because it is tiring, and then you look so good that it just boosts you because you're like, am I a model now? Like,
Right. Well, the other thing too is like beforehand I would be like, it would be my running, but then the day would go by and then I just couldn't motivate. And I find that I schedule my classes on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So it forces me, I get to interject myself into Joe's schedule.
Oh, yes.
Meaning like I have this block of time and you can't do anything about it because I have this blocked off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because when you're paying for it, then it's like, well, what am I going to do? I'm just going to
Yes.
lose money. Like,
Where it'd be like, it would be very casual about the way that I was working out. And then I just never found that it felt like I had enough time to do it. But that's this time that I get to interject myself in.
oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That's worth the money.
Like, yes. Where I'll just be like, I booked a class, so he can't, there's nothing he can do about it.
Fuck around and find out,
Yeah.
Joe.
Not that he's like testing me, but his schedule will fucking fill up if I don't do anything about it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm the same with classes. If I'm like, oh, I'll get to the gym today, it's like I never get there.
Right.
Something always comes up, or I'm like, oh no. But if I'm like, I have a class today, I work my day around the class, and
Right.
that's
And
or I cancel it.
Here's one of my traits. I know how to cheat the system. You know, when I work out, you're like, but am I really
I
working
know. I'm like,
out?
I'm just walking at like a slow pace for an hour while I listen to podcast. It's like, but that's what. Can you explain to me what the Orange Theory thing is again? Because I know you do like a full thing with them, right?
Yes. I guess it's to get to a metabolic rate that when you're resting, you're also burning more calories.
Wow.
So in your workouts, the exertion, and they want you to get to, I guess it's splat points when you hit the orange zone and the red zone, that's exhaustion. They want you to get there quite a bit. And so you just work towards that. And it does push you.
Wow.
You do just always end up in those zones.
Do you do the same thing every class?
No, I found out that there's quite a bit different. Like one day you can do all tread and then or you can do the floor, which is all weights. And I was like, well, I can run anywhere where I live, I can run. So I just did weights, and I don't have access to a lot of weights, and I don't know what I'm doing.
I love doing weights because it feels like a toy, doesn't it? You're like, oh,
Right.
it's purple.
But I never feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah. I know. Me neither.
And I
Like,
feel goofballs.
yes. Yeah.
There's one, like, I was doing one where I'd be like, lift up.
Yeah. Have you ever done a kettlebell? Because nothing makes me feel goofier than the kettlebell. Just swinging it around. It's like, this can't be safe.
Right.
You're like, it's going to flip out of my hand and just like knock a woman out.
I've tried a kettlebell with like squats, but no, I haven't gone to the kettlebell route. Joe makes me laugh. He's been doing kettlebell workouts, but the only ones he can follow are like, it's woman on YouTube. So he's like, am I doing a woman's workout? And I'm like, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what? We all need to be strong.
Yeah.
You need to get that osteoporosis nipped in the bud. Okay, so I thought for some reason that the Orange Theory was like you just do the same thing every time, but it's like different stuff though.
It is very similar. You can, and then there's ones that are all like you could probably just do all rowing. I just never find any benefit in rowing.
Yeah, rowing. I feel like
I'm like, I know it's an exercise and it is, but it's just I don't feel like it hits anything for me.
I've never taken a rowing class. I've never done it under any type of supervision. I've just done it in the gym where I'm like, okay, I'm next.
Right.
Just trying out machines, I guess. I'm in a hotel.
Rowing always was like, when I got there, they're like, have you ever been on the rowing machine? I'm like, not since the 80s. It's an
It's
80s
old-
workout.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like when in the 80s when you were like, this is our rowing machine, and you just have it in your home, and like that's your exercise.
Oh, we had one.
That's so funny.
And it was just on my parents' floor for years.
Yeah.
And then my dad broke his pinky toe in the middle of the night on it. And then it was immediately gone. We had the Bowflex in our garage.
Bowflex too.
And it was so rickety.
Yeah.
And they never worked on, like, my dad or my mom were never on it. It would just become like a thing that our cats would sleep on in the garage.
My mom was in nursing school when I was younger. And then when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, she got her first job nursing. And I think when I was in high school, she would work nights. And so she would her sleep schedule got really fucked up. So she would stay up on her nights off and just like watch infomercials. And then we started getting like weird stuff in our home. We started getting like, she was just like impulse buying. So that's when we had like the Bowflex. And then we would get like, now we have like this other weird machine.
Like the Tiger Juice. The Juice-O-Matic was really big. I used to love late night infomercials.
Oh my God. It's a bygone era.
It is. You don't see it too often, but like the way they would speak on it, it would always be like, so you're telling me if I dry 40 pounds of fruit.
That's great.
They had a dehydrator.
Oh yeah. You always have a dehydrator.
The Ginsu knives.
Oh yes.
Those were pretty spectacular.
And also like pans. You're always getting like a 4th pan for free.
Right. Or
for the price of 3. You can get 5 pans.
If you ordered a year-long subscription of Sports Illustrated, you got the football phone.
Oh my God. That's a deal. I feel like I would have been taken in by that. My God. When was the last time you had a landline?
We have tons of phone jacks in our apartment, which is so funny to me or weird. And it's Marty was playing with it, and I was like, "Oh, that's something you'll never know."
You can't even get electrocuted by it. You're like, "Go ahead, stick your finger in."
It's nothing. My mom still has a landline. We still use the same phone number that we had as kids.
I don't know if my parents even have a landline now. I don't think they do.
Beneficial during like a natural disaster. For some reason, I think landlines can do okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Or if
they don't
like
get
some kind
jam
of
blocked, the system doesn't get blocked or whatever.
Yeah. Or if there was like an electromagnetic pulse or something.
Yeah. So there is a reason, but I had a landline in an apartment years ago with my good friend, and we just joked because there was a time period right before iPhones. So
yeah.
Most people had cell phones, but not a lot of people had cell phones.
Yeah.
It wasn't the general public. So there was still a while that you still needed a landline. But it was like rare that you use it, and it was only telemarketers that would call you.
Yes, me too.
And we would just call it our like hotline. It was just like people checking in to see if we needed a product for our apartment.
Yes.
It was such a weird.
That's what we had. I think it must have been like 2008, 2009 when I first moved out of college. We had a landline because they basically gave it to us for free with getting internet. It was like $1 more a month. And we're like, okay. And we had like a really fun phone that looked like a hamburger. That's what I miss about landlines.
Right.
Because you could have like, you're like, this is my phone. What a gas. And it's like, you can't do that with a cell phone. I can't be like, here's, it's a football.
Oh.
My giant teddy bear cell phone. That should make a comeback because I feel like that has a TikTok shop potential.
Oh, all over it. I
That's
mean,
my Shark Tank.
Some people have wild phone cases, but I'm like, where do you have the purse to put that in?
I know. And then they have a tiny purse. You're like, what's happening?
That doesn't, but I had a Swatch phone.
Ooh.
Which I always regret it. I don't know why, but I bought the white one when you could get the clear one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, the white one's so boring, but I loved how cool this was. Because it had, you could pick up this, but if your friend wanted to join, she could pick up the receiver. And on the bottom side, she could also hear.
Oh my
So
God.
both people could talk on the phone
It's
at
like
the same time.
function and design.
Yeah.
It's that's what I miss about landlines. Because it's like with this, it's like, okay, I guess it's pink. I'm a basic bitch.
Right. And you know what I also miss about when we were talking about like a simpler time and nostalgia is like with the cell phone, you could be out having the time of your life. And then because you're phone addicted, you go online and you're like, let me look at my YouTube comments. And then someone's like, what's going on with your knee? Or like, you're the worst. Or they say some dig and you're like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and then you're
I just
blindsided.
ruined my night.
Blindside. Oh yeah, that's happened to me many. Or you're like, let me see how my video's doing on Instagram, and you get up and it's just like someone winning an Emmy.
Yeah.
That you like used to do open mics with, and you're like, okay, how am I going to enjoy Taco Tuesday now? I'm supposed to go back to my tacos like I'm not a failure.
No, it's so, or even a disaster. Like, this sounds really horrible, but if there was a death, it didn't ruin your night.
Yes, yeah.
It
I
was
like to
only
find
when you
out-
got home into the privacy of your home that you could be
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. Grandpa?
But now it's like you're getting that information
Yeah.
on, on the subway. My mom called me after. I knew when she called twice in a row that I was in. When she called, that I was like, something's up.
Oh God.
But I'm just walking towards 34th Street, being like, don't worry, your dad's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're just like, you're like, I just wish I could have I'd like to get information like that just at home.
Just like on your answering machine to be like, I can handle this here and not have to like fight for my life walking through insane Herald Square foot traffic.
Right.
When I know that like I need to book a flight immediately.
Right. Then I'm just sitting with this information for a good 30 minutes before I can like act upon
rough.
it.
That's rough. I know. I think like going with the simpler I'm kind of like relating this back to my book, The 4,000 Weeks, because it gives you it's kind of really more of like a philosophy of time book, and it talks about how time's like this abstract concept, and when you kind of come to grips with the fact of like I am only here for every moment is a gift, like truly you could die at any point,
right?
And it makes you kind of realize like I do want to not be addicted to my phone. I do want to be.
Love to. When we had that day, that 12 hours of non-TikTok.
Great day.
Great day. Because of all the apps, I don't know why, but Instagram really doesn't hit the dopamine that TikTok does. Like, I could do Instagram for maybe about 2 minutes and then I'm like, I'm done. TikTok, I could pull in an hour. Almost an hour, 90 minutes.
And I have my phone set in 15-minute increments, so it will cut me off, and I'll be like, one more round.
Right.
Yeah. I'll have another round.
Ooh, indulge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're like, it was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I joke about it, like, to have that time off from it, that I actually feel like, and this will never happen, but as the U.S., we should shut down social media on Sundays.
Oh, the Lord's Day.
Well,
Yeah.
I just feel like, of all the, we don't really do much on that day. I do like shopping, but like.
We should. I mean, I do think it seems, and what I've been hearing as I'm like watching trends like I do, is that social media, it was really popular and now it's getting less popular, and people are kind of like, I'm over that feeling of eating too much cake from being on it for an hour. And I feel that same way too.
I want my life back.
I was talking with somebody was mentioning to me, I think it was our realtor, said, so I was like talking about TikTok, and he was like, I never got on it. And he was like, I just don't, people say you like lose 7 hours. It's like 7 years of your life in traffic. And I felt like, I don't have to lose my life, but also at the same time, it's like, but it's kind of my window to the world where I like observe what's going on in society in the same way I would watching the news. So I don't know that I consider it lost time.
Yeah, I've learned, I got a lot of information on there. I've been doing, this sounds crazy, zinc supplements.
Yeah.
Because I heard it helps with hormone.
Ooh.
That for women, it helps with the female hormone.
Mm-hmm.
And it really can help with physical stuff. So I'm trying it out. They were like oysters or liver. And I'm like, well, I'm not access to that. And I don't like the taste of.
You're like shucking oysters in your home.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
For maybe a few hair sprouts.
Yeah. I have been doing vitamin D3 plus vitamin K and vitamin B12 complex. Those are my vitamins that I'm into right now. And other vitamins, I'm like, I just take it until I forget, and I never notice a difference. I'm like, this vitamin, of course, the vitamin D. That's why I've been fatigued. And it's like, meanwhile, it's because I'm flying across the country to make $500.
But this girl talked ad nauseum, and it was not a commission ad or anything about like the benefits of zinc. And she showed before and after photos, and it was so mind blowing.
Of her hair?
No, of just like people on zinc that have a zinc deficiency.
Ooh.
And what it does to their appearance, and then if you take it, what it can change. And so I was like, that looks good to me.
I'm like, is that why I'm ugly? I need zinc. This will fix everything.
I was like, let me try, but I didn't realize that it's also good when you have a cold.
I did know that because
I didn't know that. Joe was like, when did you get this? And why are you hoarding it away from me? Because I didn't tell him about it because I was embarrassed to be like, I'm trying something out with my hormones. I'm trying to get more feminine.
I'm trying to get hot, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, what format are you taking the zinc in? Is it like because I've had zinc during colds, and it's like a little thing that you suck, like a little lozenge, and it's kind of like a candy.
Oh,
I
take it in a supplement form in the
like
pill.
A little pill. Okay.
And she said, make sure you get it. A lot of supplements do filler. That you don't get a high percentage of zinc. So I hope I got the right kind, but this is what I looked online to see that had high zinc, less filler. Maybe that's, I'm just wondering, part of me was wondering, is that why I'm nauseous?
Oh, because you're taking like weird supplements.
Yeah. I remember taking all those, like, what do they call it? Those Centrium all vitamins. What do they call them?
The multivitamins. Right? Yeah.
Without a meal, and those can rock me.
I think multivitamins, from what I've heard, a multivitamin is not really the best choice unless you're prenatal and you need to have like the folic acid.
What I was told about
it.
Yeah. And
that's
postnatal.
What you heard as well.
Because I asked my OBGYN, I was like, what do I need? What prenatal should I get? Do you any recommendation? He goes, just get a multivitamin. Vitamin. That's all you need.
Because I heard from someone who was studying nutrition. So this is not any type of
We're not doctors.
Source. Yeah, this is not a source. This is the point in the podcast where I'm like, please take no medical advice. But just eat dry protein powder. That's what I've been doing. I just eat dry creatine powder. But she said that when you take a multivitamin, you don't necessarily need some of those vitamins so you can build up. It's not good to have too much vitamins.
Right.
Especially certain vitamins like vitamin A, I know is like, you really don't want to have too much of it.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't think I've ever showed up as a zinc deficiency.
Right. And then it's like, how do you even know that?
And then I'm just like,
you just have to go to the doctor.
Way too much zinc.
You're overdosing on zinc. Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Toxic level of...
My eyelashes are like so long.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I always try around, like, let me see what vitamins do. But you're right. The only time I thought vitamins worked, which one did I always, B12?
B12
or
is
vitamin
one
B.
where it's like, you have to have it. Because B12, I notice, that one I do notice.
I always swore when I was hungover, if I took a vitamin B of one of those numbers, I felt better. And I don't know if it was placebo or not, but I was also told that it helps with like energy levels.
It helps you. Yeah. It's supposed to help like metabolize your food. I do think I have vitamin B deficiency because I know that like women just get deficient in it, especially during like menstrual time. But I get these canker sores in my mouth, which is, it's not herpes. Okay. It's not that. But it's like, if I get a canker sore,
it's a deficiency.
If I take vitamin B, it's gone the next day.
Yeah.
If I don't take it, I have it for like a week. And it could be from like, you like bite your cheek or something. And like when you're eating and then it just turns and it's like a whole thing. And I've had them when I was on birth control, I wasn't taking vitamin B and I was having them to the point that I was like, this is crazy.
That is interesting.
So I started taking vitamin B. And it's like, I just don't even get them anymore. I don't even take it that often. I take it like once or twice a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. I still do every now and then take the magnesium glycinate. That was the one that was going around on TikTok for a while, but it really makes
sleep?
it like helps you sleep. And
Sorry,
it's
I'm
supposed to
yawning. I didn't have coffee today because I was barfy.
You had no coffee this whole day?
No, because I felt barfy.
Oh my God. We got to wrap early and get some. I've had a coffee, then I had a latte, then I just had a Diet Coke. So we're the opposite.
You're up. You're balancing.
Yes.
So the magnesium, did you feel anything with the magnesium?
Oh, I did. I did feel like it helped me go into a deeper sleep and stay through the night. But the next day I felt fatigued, which I feel a lot of fatigue anyway. I don't know if it's maybe it's from the Zoloft. Maybe I'm just tired. I don't know.
That's why it's always funny to me when it's a symptom of an avian flu, long COVID.
Oh, I know, exactly.
Or whatever, Lyme disease, what we talked about, that I was like, aren't we all, we're all tired. I don't know anyone that's like, woo.
I know. It's like we're not engineered as a species to be working 40 hours a week, let alone 80, which is what you're doing in New York on top. And then it's and then I have to do laundry.
And then you're just overstimulated 24 hours of the day.
I'm getting on a plane. I'm looking at TikTok at night. It's how would I know? How would I know if I was fatigued? Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have fatigue. And then I just rest. And then I'm like, I think I'm better.
Yeah.
And then it's that wasn't fatigue. That was exhaustion.
You were just tired.
Dumbass.
You stayed up too late.
I wonder if ancient times people got fatigued. They're just working in a farm as a medieval peasant. I'm so tired. What is this?
You're like, well, you've been working.
You've been working.
What's funny to think, probably, I bet you the rich people got fatigued.
I'm sure they did. They were
they had
having
a couch.
Muttons. Yeah. Oh, their fainting couch. Yeah. They were fatigued from eating a giant roast pig or something.
It's, I also remember they talked about felt like women were always fainting.
Oh yes.
What is that about?
Because they were wearing corsets and they couldn't breathe.
Oh.
There was a play that's
or getting hysterical.
Going into hysterics. Well, I know about that one. I can tell you a little something about that. I when I was in college, there was a student produced play. I have no idea what it was called. But it was about 4 women through time, and there was a Victorian woman, and I guess this really did happen. But her, because of her corset was missshaping her uterus, and she was having prolapse, and it was her uterus was falling out of her.
Oh, hot!
Put that on YouTube.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess it was pretty common actually, because especially after you had a baby, because your muscles couldn't hold stuff anymore.
Oh yeah, the diacti, whatever they call it, rectus.
Oh,
there's a term where your stomach doesn't close. It's still the muscles haven't gone that way.
Oh,
so you have to do these
from
exercises.
After you have baby?
Yes.
Oh wow.
So you have to do cat cows and work the under stomach muscles, not just the big ones on top.
You have to do that all before you get the mommy lift.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of getting one?
No.
It feels like it's too invasive of a surgery.
I don't really feel like I hit a point where I don't look at myself and be like, this got out of hand.
I need to go under the knife.
Yeah. The only thing I've had recently is just from the photos from the OnlyFans shoot that I was
Sarah was traumatized by a photo. If you listen to our bonus, follow us on Patreon. Bonus every week.
Yeah, bonus every week. But it was what, it just takes a photo and you're like, is that what my stomach's doing? It's coming over my jeans. It was muffiny.
It was
and I've always been self-conscious. No matter what I do, I can't get a great stomach.
We all have problem areas. Well, I know. I had a photographer at my show on Saturday, and I was just I just was preparing myself mentally, because it's when I travel, I always pack light. It's I'm not coming in with a gown. I'm just wearing baggy jeans and a shirt, which I had to layer because it was freezing. So it's I already am looking plumper than usual. And when these photographers come at a comedy show, it's they all always snap me doing the most outrageous act out where I'm
it's from under too.
Yeah. And it's I don't want to see myself like that.
Yeah.
It's a crime against me.
Well, I also, Lex, you're excluded from this, but I feel although we did get, I can't say it on this, but There have been times where I feel like when a guy is lighting for some photo thing and they're not adverse to lighting, I'm like, you've just created the most unflattering lighting.
Yes, you're an insane person.
When you work with somebody that knows lighting, it's a game changer.
Yes, it's
like you don't
huge.
even need to do that much like Photoshop.
It's all about the angle and like understanding. That's why on a film set they have their own lighting person. I heard this funny joke, and then we can close out on this. Unless you have something to add, I will never.
I'm good.
I'll never stop you. Never stop you from adding anything. Dusty Slay had a really funny joke that was like, you ever see a picture of yourself and you're like, oh my God, it's really bad. And you're like, I don't look like that. And then, but you know, you did.
You do? That is you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
I just would like to see other people's bad photos.
Ooh, send us your bad photos. That's fun.
There are a few celebs that I like over the year. There's the Demi Lovato one. The angle with the flash bulbs made it, and the way her hairstyle was made her look like she was bald in all face. It was so bad they gave her the internet named it another character, like Pootie Poot. They're like,
hilarious.
It's Pootie Poot.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Poot Lovato.
There's also one, I think, of Justin Bieber that was supposed to be really unflattering. Beyonce banned photography at her concerts because people, you know, she does a lot of like this stuff.
Yeah.
They were getting her like this.
Yes.
And they were posting it up.
Yeah. It's like, that's what these comedy photographers are doing. It's like the worst act out where I look like Don Rickles right now.
My favorite is when they email the link to the Google Drive that everyone on the show has access to. And they're like, here's the photos from last night. Just let me know. And you're like, how come I look the worst?
Right.
Not that I don't think anyone's doing a personal attack, but it's just sometimes you're like,
I know. It makes me think about my
so
act.
bad?
I'm like, am I like a hack from the 80s who's like, my husband.
You're all banging your head with your mic.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.
Yeah, join our Patreon.
Oh, and give us a review. We haven't asked for reviews in a long time, but I still am sending out kits until I do my big purge before my move. Hopefully, if the contract for my apartment goes through.
Fingers
Lady
crossed.
Journey.
Lady Journey.